we're going to learn about Osobots. What are Osobots, you say? Well, they are small, programmable robots that we code with color. Osobots are going to follow a black line, and then when we have different colors indicated in a sequence or a pattern, it will tell it to do something different. So, Osobots are pretty small, pretty cute. This is the front of an Osobot. There's a little shield there to indicate that it's the front. The back side is going to be where you would plug it in to charge it. To turn on an Osobot, there is this small dot on the side, and all you would do is do a quick click of that button, and it will flash and turn on. Now I know my Osobot is powered on and ready to use. Because Osobots use color to go through and do programming, we're going to use white paper, and then we're going to use a black line. So here I have an example of some lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it on the left side here, and it's going to follow that line until the line stops. And then there's a white space, so the Osobot stopped. So when I look here, you can see that I have these spaces right here. But what happens is our Osobot sometimes needs to be calibrated. And calibrated is a term where we go through and look to see how the Osobot is working with the light in the room. Because Osobot needs to be able to tell the difference between the paper and our line, we need to calibrate it. To calibrate an Osobot, what we do is we're going to go ahead and flip over our paper, and I'm going to make a black circle the size of the bottom of this Osobot. So I'm just going to go on here, and I'm going to make a circle a little bit bigger than my Osobot, and I'm going to color it in. Here's my circle. Here's my Osobot. Let's calibrate. To calibrate, black dot on my white paper. To calibrate your Osobot, I'm going to go ahead and hold the power button for 3 to 5 seconds. And when it flashes white, I'm ready to calibrate. Set it on the black dot. It's going to move around till it finds the edge. So it is calibrating. It's looking at the light in the room, and it's determining the difference between the black line and the paper. So depending on how the lights are in the room, you will need to calibrate the Osobot first when you start to use it during your session. If you come back another time, you may need to change based on the lighting in the room, windows, all of that. So we'll always want to make sure that we calibrate. After you've calibrated the Osobot, it's going to go ahead and power off. I know it's powered off because there's no lights on here. So we have our Osobot calibrated. We're now going to go ahead and use this paper, and we're going to go through and program some codes in. So to program the codes, what we'll do is I'm going to use these mystery codes. At your tables, we have mystery codes. There are 3 of them here that have arrows. And when we look at our arrows, the very first one is blue, black, red. That tells the Osobot at an intersection between 2 black lines to go straight. The next one that I have an arrow next to is green, black, red. That means at an intersection between 2 lines, it should go left. The third one I have is blue, red, green. Blue, red, green tells the Osobot to go right. When I look here, I don't have any intersections. So those 3 with an arrow, we are not going to code on here. What we will need to do is we're going to use that on our next project. So I want these arrow ones to know that these are going to be ones that you're going to use in our next section so that you're aware of it. It's really important to know that when we use these color codes, that it matters the order of the color. So I have blue, black, red. I can't change the order. It's got to read blue first, then black, and then red. So the first one that I want to do is going to be this red, blue, red. So to test it, to see what does this red blue, red do, I'm going to use my markers. And again, I'm going to use these different colored markers. And I'm going to fill in on my sheet red, blue, red. And I'm going to fill in each box completely, not leaving any white space. So this red, blue, red, I'm going to test it to see what it does. Set down my paper, turn my Osobot on with a quick click, flashing blue. I'm going to set it on the left side of the paper and I'm going to have it read it. And then it's going to go ahead and get to that code. Look what it did. It stopped. So sometimes you're like, I don't know what that code does. So what I would do is I would turn my Osobot off, power it off so it resets that code, turn it back on, and I'll have it do it again. Here it comes to the code. That mystery code tells it to pause for 3 seconds. So what you can do on this paper is you would go through and fill in a mystery code there using your markers, and then after it I would write pause 3 seconds. Go through and try a bunch of these codes, but remember it's very important that they are in the same order. So this code right here does red, green, blue. It would be different if it read it left to right or right to left. So it's important that you go through and program in the correct order. So have fun on this sheet, filling in and learning what these mystery codes do for Osobots. Now for your Osobot challenge. We're going to go through and find the eggs hidden on this maze. Are they hidden? No. But what we need to do is we need to program our Osobot to go around the maze and pause for 3 seconds at each egg. So when I go through and look, I can see I have 6 eggs. Do you see them on there? Notice this egg right here? Do you see that black line that comes down from there? We are going to have the Osobot stop there for 3 seconds to collect that egg. Your challenge is at each one of these pause spots where you can fill in codes is to use this other sheet of codes. So we're only going to use 4 codes. Pause 3 seconds, go straight, go right, or go left. So when I look at this first box of lines right here, it's going to start at the bottom and it's going to go up. It's going to, at this next intersection right here, I have to code it to either go left, right, or straight. And then when I get to this line of code right here, I have to tell it at the next intersection which way is it going to go. Now what we realize is that all of these spots where it has a line going to the egg, that's going to be where you're going to color code for the pause 3 seconds. I have a sample one done. It's not necessarily the right code, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my code down. I already have my Osobot calibrated, so all I have to do is just tap the power button so he turns on. I'm going to set the Osobot here at the beginning. It's going to read the code, so at the next intersection, it's going to turn left. Next intersection, turn. And then it just paused and collected that egg. Now, it needs to know what to do because I don't have all of the boxes filled in. So your challenge, go through and program your Osobot to try to find all of those eggs. Have fun.